much more canola we got here, Martin? It's sprouted.
Well, this is all canola, and look at it, you know, it's just about as thicker than the lawn as you get to the edge of the field, eh? So it just shows the amount of seed that's been blown by the wind.
Those seeds will drift during the winter and carry, and they can go a half mile, they can go a mile. Here's the pure evidence of what can happen in a situation like ours. It blew in here in September, as Martin explained, and now it's germinated. It is a full-blown, healthy GMO canola plant growing on organic land.
We no longer have any pure canola seeds or soybean seeds left in Canada. It is all now contaminated.
And now, with genetic engineering, when you see that, you know, without much democratic decision-making at all, a few scientists and companies are trying to change the genetic makeup, the permanent genetic makeup of all living things, all those things that we love so dearly, and change them forever in a way we can never get back. It seems to me the only thing you can do is to fight this.
And if you look back at Monsanto's history, to me it's been a history of deceit and of not telling the truth. When Monsanto and other companies said PCBs were safe, DDT was safe, Agent Orange was safe, aspartame was safe, and after a few years everybody found out the dangers of PCBs and DDT. And now we have the same company telling us that GMOs are safe. We don't have no choice left. Our choice is gone. But the people in many parts of the world still have a choice.
The second way in which biodiversity of our seeds, our medicinal plants, our other useful species is taking place is through genetic engineering. And genetic engineering is a false promise whose high price has already been paid by the farmers of this country. Multinationals have grabbed the seed economy, which used to be a farmer's economy, it used to be a women's economy.
The farmers who have taken to the BT cotton farming never knew that they are cultivating a crop which is a combination of genes from animal and plant. Neither the company nor the government told about this to the farmers.
Yeah, these slides are very interesting. And this is an interesting slide. What you have here, in 1982, Dr. Ralph Brinster at the University of Pennsylvania said, what if I can take the gene responsible for growth in human beings and put it into a mouse? And he did just that. He actually was successful. And as you can see, the very large mouse here is the one that has successfully been engineered with human growth genes to make it huge. And you see the sibling next to it. And this made a huge furor. It was on the front page of these magazines, New York Times. And then a few months later, people said, well, this is interesting, but what are you going to really do with a really huge mouse? I mean, you can scare people, you know, there's a few things you can do with it, but it's not a very practical thing to have a really huge mouse.
This is a picture of three related fish, brothers and sisters, that we developed. This is a fish that inherited the transgene, and these are its siblings that did not. This fish is about a year old, and these fish are as well. And as you can see, there is an incredible acceleration in the early life stages. These fish are just barely ready to go into salt water. This fish is almost ready to harvest after a year.
This fish, if let loose through biological pollution in the natural waters, will destroy the native fish. It's very important to think that once this biological contamination is very different than chemical contamination. If you have an oil spill, it will dilute over time. Even a chemical spill will dilute over time. This is not chemical pollution. This is about living pollution, biological pollution. Once these fish are released into a bay or a river, you can't recall them. No scientist can say, come back, please. You can't put a net and get them. It's over. It's over.
Scientists, some of them, envisions a world in which he says there'll be no more stupid people, there'll be no more ugly babies. This is a project that you don't need to be a scientist, you don't need to win the Nobel Prize to know whether or not that's a good idea or not. Parents will be able to go into the clinic and tweak the emotional makeup of their fetus, choosing someplace on a spectrum from, Mother Teresa to, I don't know, General Patton or something, along this line. And which sounds kind of nice, you'd be able to design your child.
What color of the eyes you prefer? Color of the hair? Black. Great. Complexion, what should be his complexion? Do you want fair, medium, olive? Height? About 170? 170, okay.
One of the main risk issues of genetic engineering is that 95% of all competent scientists in these fields are working for the producer side, and only 5% are really genuinely independent. They never discuss that.